Welcome to the King and Chapman Show. I am Brent Chapman, and with me is the original Fab One, Jimmy King.
What's up, B? How you doing today, my brother?
I am doing great, Jimmy. It is Thursday, May 9th, and I am in Duval. did I do that okay?
That it sounded so good. It sounded so good that you blew the speakers.
It sounded like so good that I could be from Jacksonville. I am in Jacksonville. I'm actually right off of the University of North Florida. And I'll tell you something, Jimmy. I've never understood why they chant Duval at Jaguars games. It's just kind of weird to me. I get that Jacksonville is in Duval County, but that just kind of like uh,
Well, you gotta let it
there's
be
no
known.
Jaguars chant or something.
No. You gotta let it be known. I understand that. That's just like at one point, the storied University of Notre Dame wanted to change the name of South Bend to Notre Dame, Indiana. You just want to let people know where you are.
That's right. But when we were out at the Palace, Jimmy, back in the days in Auburn Hills, we weren't
That's
chanting
right.
Oakland County, Macomb County. That that
hey,
sounds stupid.
hey, hey, hey. Sometimes, like I said, you just got to let them know. It's just like my fraternity, right? We're the home of the Macomb County Qs. So you just got to let it be known, whether it's the city, the county, the state,
Well,
all around.
Jimmy, I am in Jacksonville for today and tomorrow's show, but then I will be back in Dallas for our Monday show in my normal studio. So forgive for the headset. As you can see, we got game something going on behind us with the Knicks and the or the Celtics and the Cavaliers. But Jimmy, we got a lot to talk about today. We got a lot of basketball today. We've been kind of divvying up the
Yes.
sports, but we're going heavy basketball because the last time we talked on Friday, then we had the whole weekend. So, or I'm sorry, on Monday and Tuesday we had the whole. We got a lot going on. So let's talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Minnesota Timberwolves won game two. Jimmy, you and I both thought. Well, you and I both thought that this was going to be a 5, 6, 7 game series, and they didn't just beat them, Jimmy. They beat them. They, 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 they,
It
they,
looks like
they.
it does look like they have their number. It does look like the champs are on the ropes. Even with uh Jokic being named the MVP, he still has the respect from the league and he still dons that honor. But it looks tough. I mean, the way that the Minnesota Timberwolves overall is playing defense against the Nuggets, it looked like it's a tall order. Like you said, I thought it might be 6 or 7 games, but shoot, it looked like they might look to sweep them, bringing out the brooms.
So, Jimmy, let me ask you, Rudy Gobert, and I didn't look. He did not play much of the game. I don't know if he was a severe injury or not.
No, he had a. It was the birth of his first son, so he missed the game.
Okay, so that's why he wasn't there, and they
Yes.
still stomped on them
Yeah,
without.
and that's we also discussed too about stepping up. You hear next man up all the time, and as a team, you want to have guys that fill that roles in a committee. So, you know, Nas is playing fantastic. You got like overall young talent really, and then you got it mixed with veteran talent, in a point guard in Mike Conley, who is able to run the team, and then you have a young, kind of a juggernaut like Edwards, that's able to take you on long killing runs that
Yeah, where it
that'll
just
that'll make
piles
it
it up.
tough for you to win. So I appreciate the balance that they have. It's not just that they are outscoring the Nuggets, because we know that the Nuggets are greater in depth at that, but they're playing defense, and that's a part of the game that I appreciate particularly, to see them locking down.
Nate, can you throw back up that picture again there that we have? That guy
Yeah,
right there. Hold that up there for a
flexing,
minute. That guy right there is
flexing on them.
a key part of this series, right?
Absolutely.
You can come back to me now, Nate. Yeah, that guy right there is a key aspect of this series. And here's something I want to tell you, Jimmy. This season is the second time in 2 decades, 20 years, twice in 20 years, that the Timberwolves have made it to the second round of the playoffs. 2 times, 20 years. That's not great, bro. And for the past 19 years, um, they've only made it 3 times, and they all lost in the first round.
Yeah,
So
it's
this is
tough.
historically
Absolutely.
a not great franchise. Then they show up in the playoffs and they beat the defending champs
Well,
at home 2 in a row.
well,
I'm
the current
surprised.
the current general manager for the Timberwolves was a former general manager for the Nuggets, so he knows how to construct and build a team that we're clearly watching today, that can compete and or beat the Nuggets. That's what we're witnessing right now. So it's
So
about what
Jimmy,
you know.
you didn't answer my question. Are you surprised? I am
Yes,
surprised.
I
I
am.
expected it. You are
Yes,
surprised.
I am surprised. I am surprised that they are handling the champs the way they are. I'm not surprised that they're up 2-0. I thought that they would, it would be a more resistance coming from the Nuggets than,
But that it would
you
be close and
know,
that
lately.
either
Yeah,
anyone
absolutely,
could win. So
absolutely.
so staying on the topic of the Nuggets, um, so you can hit that next topic, Nate. Jamal Murray was fined uh $100,000 by the
Woo!
NBA
That's
for, and
one
I'll
hell of a
quote,
temper tantrum.
quote, uh, throwing multiple objects in the direction of a game official during play. So here's what he did. We don't have the video of this, but here's what he did. He threw a towel. Okay, fine, a towel. Jerry Tarkanian used to eat towels. That's fine. Uh, and then he threw a heat pack onto the court, and I'm reading this to the side here. It slid all the way onto the court to Carl Anthony Towns, where he was making a layup. So, uh, Jimmy, should Jamal Murray have been suspended for his mid-game temper tantrum?
Well, obviously he wasn't suspended, so I'ma say no. He shouldn't have been suspended. I think it looks bad on him as a player, partly because I know that's not his character. I'm sure he wish he could take that back. And to do it one time, I understand, but to do it twice, that's why I see, they garnered the $100,000 fine. Um, you really don't want to see them suspended, because you want to see them at their full power. You don't want to make any excuses to them losing this series, and Minnesota not really getting the full credit they deserve. So kudos for the NBA for really, I think, getting it right. I don't think you'll have a epidemic or a problem with players throwing things on the court. That's really just how frustrated they are as a team, and how frustrated Jamal is as a player individually, as great as he is. So, you know, fortunately nobody got hurt, because we know that heating packs, as a player, I used to use them. They get very wet.
Yeah,
Um,
if he stepped on that, he could have been
that humidity
severely
comes
hurt.
off. Absolutely, and somebody could slip on that and get severely hurt. And So there's no place in the game for that.
Especially, yeah, because you can't have things on the court because the players aren't expecting it. It's the same reason they don't allow you to
Absolutely.
throw things on the football field or in the game of play. It's not that a heating pack is dangerous. They don't expect a heating pack to
Right.
be there when he's going up for a layup. So here's what I think, Jimmy, and I'm going to agree with you, not for the sake of disagreeing, but I'm going to disagree with you. Um, I think he should have been suspended, and here's why. If you find somebody for $100,000, you must think what he did is
It
pretty
was
bad. Now, if he
egregious.
would have suspended him 5 grand or 10 grand, I understand. But $100,000 fine sounds like
They
maybe he should
typically
have been
they're
suspended.
typically, cutting that playoff round bonus check in half. That's
Yeah,
pretty much what
this
that
is
is.
my point. Is this obviously was a big deal to them because it was $100,000. So it should have been a suspension. If it rises to $100,000, it's a suspension. And I
I,
know
I
they don't want to upset the
I can go
series
with
and
that.
blobbity 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 blah. Well, guess
I
what?
can,
Carl Anthony or Rudy Gobert didn't play. So,
I,
and they were just fine. And that
I
was
can
a personal reason, which I didn't
absolutely.
know. I thought he was injured, but it's good to know that it was for the birth of his child. He didn't play. So you know what? Jamal Murray can sit out a game for having a temper tantrum. Today we're going to talk about temper tantrums because now we're moving on to the Knicks. We're going to talk about not a Knicks temper tantrum in a minute, but we're going to talk about a Pacers temper tantrum after we talk about Mr. Jalen Brunson. This guy, holy moly. So, okay. So he's awesome. There he is. And Jimmy, he exited the game late in the first quarter. And it was like, you know, it was like Rocky was coming back out for the fight when he came back out. I mean, the crowd just erupted. It was like a wrestling.
Or
Have you
or
ever have you ever
literally
have you ever
or
watched
literally Willis Reed.
Yeah, Willis
Back
Reed,
to
or
the
like
knee.
it was like in WWF when the middle of the match, the music hits, what the Rock is cooking, and then there's a guy that runs down to the ring. Like that's what happened at the Knicks game. The best player disappeared, and then he came back out of the locker room. I think late second quarter, and the crowd went crazy. He put him on their back, and he led them to another victory. My question for you is, knowing you're up 2-0, knowing you're playing the Pacers, knowing you're trying to achieve something more than just make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, do you take this opportunity to rest Jalen Brunson in game 3?
Absolutely not. He
Okay.
came back and played. So he got injured the first quarter. He missed the second quarter. He got evaluated during that quarter and partly at halftime, and they tested him in that halftime prior to the third quarter to see if he could go. He told coach he could go. And one thing that I know about Jalen Brunson, shout out to the namesake Jalen and Jalen Rose being the first Jalen on record and spawning millions to have that name, including my son, my oldest son, Jalen King. But what I know about Jalen Brunson, I played with his father, Rick Brunson. Rick Brunson and I were McDonald's All American. We came out the same year. We played in the McDonald's All American game along with Jalen Rose. And what I know about him is that there is no quitting him. He's a very tough individual. He was raised that way. I was there when he was born. I mean, my father, his father and I played together in the CBA, Davenport / Moline, Illinois, for the original Thunder. And I've known Jalen Brunson since he was a baby. So what I'm watching is not a surprise to me. It's been instilled in him. It's been bred into him, breathed into him. So when you see him come out that tunnel, you know that he's 1000% ready. And he showed you that the second half.
Well, I know a little bit about Tom Thibodeau, and I don't think he would ever just rest a player. And it sounds like that Rick Brunson isn't going to take a game off, and it doesn't sound like Jalen Brunson is going to take a game off. But
Yeah,
I
no, no,
learned
no, 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 no,
something
no, no.
new, Jimmy. What I just learned is Jalen Brunson got all that skill from the original Fab One, Jimmy
That's
King.
right.
Now I
You got
know
it from
where it
Uncle
came from.
Jam.
It explains everything.
You got it from Uncle Jam. I held him when he was a baby. He had his booties on. He had the little scully on and everything. He was swaddled up. He used to come to the game. Mrs. Brunson used to bring him. He and my daughter was just being born at the time.
You transitioned your superpowers to Jalen. I love it. That's awesome. So
Now I
so
can't take no credit for that. He's just a
no,
dog.
I know. He's a baller, and
Yeah,
obviously his
he
dad was a very skilled basketball player and well
absolutely.
respected as well. So now we get to go from well respected to the opposite of well respected. And now I'm going to get into it here, Jimmy. So the Indiana Pacers have submitted to the league 78 instances of incorrect and non calls they felt cost them the game in game one and game two against the Knicks. 29 in game one and 49 in game two. And this is what their head coach, Rick Carlisle, said. He said, small market teams deserve an equal shot. They deserve a fair shot no matter where they're playing. Are you freaking kidding me? What a star loser. A big loser. Sorest crybaby loser. Look, let me ask you this, Rick Carlisle. The Knicks shot 67% in the second half of game one and 65% in the third quarter of game two. Did that did that maybe have anything to do with it? This is absurd. What a loser. What a sore loser. I'm disappointed. And I'll get off my soapbox in a minute. I'm disappointed in Rick Carlisle. I lived in Detroit when Rick Carlisle took the Pistons and led the Pistons to greatness. I lived in Dallas when Rick Carlisle took the Mavericks to the championship. And now he's resorted to this whining and crying about penalties. Oh, that is that. Now I'm done. Now I'm done. Go ahead,
so
Jimmy.
so let's look in between the lines. Okay. Let's read in between the lines. I'm hearing something that's very telling. What I'm hearing is not only is he crying, but what I'm really hearing is that large market teams get calls. So is Detroit a large market? Is Dallas a large market? Like when he took those teams on the ride on the roll, he wasn't complaining then. And now that it seems like he can't get the Pacers over the hump or past the Knicks, now he's crying foul. So I'm hearing like, okay, like if you benefited before, don't cry about it now. Because I could probably go back and look at some tape from the Mavericks and say that's a big market call, or that's a homer call, or that's because you're the Mavericks. So at this point, you're the coach. You get paid top dollar. You're the best there is in the world. Figure it out, coach. You got to motivate the players. Stop crying.
Jimmy, that took my already grovelly voice and made it more hoarse and grovelly. I mean, I love Rick Carlisle. I
I do
mean, it's
too. I love
Detroit
Rick
and
too.
Dallas, and then I'm sitting here
I
watching him
absolutely
talk
love him.
about this, and I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
bro, bro,
He's
what
just
are you
frustrated.
doing?
You can tell there's a lot of frustration going on too.
He's frustrated, definitely. Um, well, Jimmy, let's go on to talk about. I can't believe this is the fifth topic of the show. That's how much great stuff is going on right now. We are now talking about Nikolai Jokic won the MVP award. This is the third MVP of his career, and he beat out SGA, Shy Gilgis Alexander, and Dallas Mavericks superstar Luka Doncic. Now, Jokic joins Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Michael Jordan, Bill Russell, LeBron James, Wilt Chamberlain, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird. Those are
Woo,
some pretty good players as
woo,
three-time NBA MVPs.
cold.
So he's in great company. But
Absolutely.
let me ask you a question, Jimmy. Did the NBA get it right making Jokic the MVP?
This tough. That's a great question. That's hard. This year, you can't not say that he's not. Like he
I
deserved it.
disagree.
The
You don't
past
think
couple of years,
SGA?
he's been the MVP. Yes, SGA definitely has but he's not the only one. Luca has a valid,
Look,
claim.
look,
Jalen
look, look.
Brunson has a valid
Yeah, where's
claim.
Jalen Brunson finished fifth in the
But
voting?
but see, to me, it doesn't matter where they fit. It's just being in the conversation. They all deserve it. And then you're splitting hairs, in my opinion, when you're talking about the top three. It's very hard to kind of decipher between those three. And so what happens is I think it kind of defaults to the player on the best team or who we perceive as the best team. And to your point, that's why SGA probably should have gotten it, but I don't think there's
Yes.
nothing wrong with Jokic winning it for a third
I
time. I
think
think he's
MV
really that
yeah,
great.
I don't I don't know. I struggle with MVP awards every time, and I'm always going to be the guy that says basically the same thing. Jokic won it this year because he's joking. It's the same reason Michael Jordan won it a bunch of times, and was it who was it?
That,
Steve Nash won it twice in a
yeah.
year. Come on,
Steve
bro.
Nash
Steve
won it. Yeah,
Nash,
right.
dude. Come on, bro.
The year that
Jokic was
Kobe had
not.
like crazy stats
Yeah, and didn't win it.
and didn't
Jokic,
win it.
Jokic is not the most valuable player of the league. Here's how I define that.
Okay.
Without you, your team is hot garbage. Okay. Without SGA, the Oklahoma City Thunder are
It's hot
playing
garbage.
bingo in Tulsa tonight. Okay.
They at the
SGA is a
casino. That
stud.
night
Now,
casinos in Oklahoma.
I think Luca is fantastic. Okay. I think Luca is fantastic, but he does have Kyrie Irving. And that helps when you have a bad day or a bad game.
Absolutely.
You know you've got a stud that can
No
step up
question.
and take it. Now, I
No
know
question.
our producer Nate is going to say Joel Embiid. Nate, Joel Embiid got injured and missed a chunk of the season. He's out. All right. He didn't even finish in the top 10 of voting. It was Jokic, SGA, Doncic,
Edwards.
Antetokounmpo, Brunson, Tatum, Ant, Sabonis, and Durant. Durant got one fifth place vote.
Sabonis, I appreciate that. I
Sabonis got
appreciate
one fourth
and see
place vote.
that's what I'm saying, right? Sabonis on his team, it could have been someone else on that Sacramento's team as well. But Sabonis getting recognized for being a valuable player. I think
Those are like Ant, Sabonis, and Durant don't really count. It was because they basically got just a couple votes, but like Jokic, SGA, Luca, Giannis, Jalen, Tatum, and Ant
they're
were really the main guys. So,
right,
and those
right,
guys are all deserving.
and
But
they're
I would
always going to be
argue
at the
Giannis.
top.
I mean,
Jokic
they're
is
all top.
always going to be at the top. Luka is always going to be at the top. Um, Kawhi, when he's healthy, is going to be at the top. You just got
Dude,
guys that's annually going to be there.
Luka made a couple shots this year. Did you see the one where he shot it underhand from the 3-point line? I mean, he should have won the
Oh yeah.
MVP just for that shot. Like that should have been like he just should just said, "Here's the voting. Here's the shot. You win." I mean, it was the most amazing. The guy is
Hey,
incredible.
when you
He
rolling
can
like
do
that, you
everything.
can just throw it up anywhere and it goes in. Like when you rolling, you feeling it. It's Luca magic.
Yeah, it was.
Drinking his magic.
That's right, Luca Magic. All right, Nate. Next topic. Here we go. And I am. Sometimes you'll notice I'll do this. I'll have the shirt. I'll know we're doing the topic. So I got on the Yankees shirt.
The
We're gonna
Yanks.
talk. We're gonna talk about the New York Yankees, but more specifically in the third inning, Jimmy, in yesterday's game, Yankees slugger Giancarlo Stanton took a 1-2 curveball over
Ooh,
the fence into the
ooh,
second deck of left field,
ooh.
447-foot home run that
Damn.
traveled, and I'm going to get this exact, 119.9 miles per hour. That is the hardest hit ball in the majors this season. I know you're not a huge baseball guy, Jimmy, but I know you know some stuff about it. Are you impressed with a home run that goes 120 miles an hour?
Hell yeah. First of all, to the hand-eye coordination, right? To see that little white ball coming at you at 100 miles an hour, and then for you to connect on it so solidly that is coming off the bat at 120 miles per hour, physically is like mind-boggling. So yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate seeing that, and I appreciate the skill level it takes to knock a ball out of the park like that. Congratulations, Giancarlo. And
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken, I believe that he has like the top three hardest hit balls in since they started keeping track of this stat.
yes, this is correct. He does. He's been just crushing it. So that guy, I need to know. I got to get that guy's workout regimen, Jimmy. Maybe I could do something about these. Maybe I could fill out
Right.
these Yankees. Oh, look at those, Jimmy. Woo! Those look
Oh, it's the
good.
camera, bro.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know
Oh,
what
it's
I'm
the
saying?
carrot.
Like it's the camera. Oh yeah, I think it kind of looks like you got a little, yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, look
They
at that.
say,
Look
they say the
at
camera adds 10 pounds. It's true.
that. But dude, you have got to just be incredibly strong to hit the ball 120 miles an hour. And
No
you bring up a
question.
really good point that I think is interesting. And I'll have to find this. Maybe I can drop it in the comments. I saw something recently that showed how difficult it is to hit a baseball. And like your eyes, and you have like
Right,
literally like a half a second to react
right.
to it. I'll tell a quick story for you, Jimmy, then we can wrap up. When I was in college, I lived next to a guy. It's like my junior year, and he was a pitcher. He got drafted by the Tigers and could throw the ball like 98 miles an hour. And
Mhm.
so he hurt his shoulder and was doing rehab. And he's like, "Hey, I got Brent. You want to come with me? Just you know, he's gonna work out and train." So he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, so I stood in there. He threw a 90. I don't know what it was. It wasn't 98 because he was rehabbing, but let's say 94, 95 mile an hour pitch. And I just stood there and watched it come by. When I say watched it come by, I didn't actually see it. I heard it.
Exactly.
0% chance that I would ever have hit that thing in a million years. I can't see like as it is, but dude, I am telling you, the athleticism and the just the eyesight and the
Absolutely.
reaction time to hit
Yeah.
a pitch going 95, 96, 98 miles an hour is absolutely incredible.
Insane. It's
It is
insane.
ab
And to
I know
stand in
the
that
stuff that
box,
you
to stand in that box and to see a curveball come at you, you got to be brave, bro. Like that thing is hurling at you, and then to see the movement that these guys put on the ball
that's right.
is fantastic. I played a little baseball. I played pitcher. I was fortunate enough. My best pitch was a change up. I let it hang in
Ooh.
the air a little bit, then it'll drop on you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna show you my grip. You know what I mean? I got my
Don't give your secrets away,
yeah, I'm
Jimmy.
not giving my secrets away.
Jimmy, there
But
could be a
because
comeback
I
for
don't,
you.
yeah, I don't want them scouting me
Do you
and
have any eligibility, for the baseball team
yeah,
remaining?
for absolutely for the beer league.
Yeah, yeah, there you go.
I'll strike some people out in the beer league.
All right, Jimmy. Well, that is it. That was a basketball heavy show. And what did we learn today? Any final thoughts? I got something for you, Jimmy.
All right.
Going on right behind me, it is 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and the Cleveland Cavaliers are putting a pounding on the Boston Celtics. It is currently 112-87.
Now,
And
see,
I
look,
remember you saying this was going to be
absolutely. I
a
said
sweep. This
sweep
is
and
not a
maybe
sweep,
a
Jimmy King.
gentleman's sweep, but
Oh,
damn,
oh,
there's
a
no way.
gentleman's sweep. Now, here we go.
There is no way that I saw this coming, and especially a beat down on their home court like this. But that's why these guys are professionals. Can never count them out,
Here's the
and
other
you
crazy
can
thing.
never look too far ahead.
Donovan
Boston
Mitchell
got to
only
take
has
care of business.
Donovan Mitchell only has 29 points. I thought for sure he would have like 80 in one of these games, and that's how they would win.
Yeah, I
So,
said 60. I thought he needed 60 to win.
all right,
Bobby,
Jimmy. So I got you by calling you out and saying you said, I guess you said a gentleman's sweep. That's like that is
a
such an
gentleman sweep.
asterisk. It's such nonsense. A gentleman's sweep. There's nothing. Is
Yeah.
it a sweep or not a sweep?
Yeah, it's a gentleman's sweep. For
Oh,
you
come
win
on.
one game, but it's basically a sweep. You
Oh,
know,
come on.
you win a game, but basically you got swept. That's why it's
All
called a
right.
gentleman's sweep.
What do you got, Jimmy? Last word, bro.
Besides the name Jalen and Jalen Brunson doing his thing, doing his best Willis Reed impression, coming back from 54 years to the date, coming back and inspired the Knicks to win. That's love.
54
But
years to the
also
day?
54 years to the exact day.
Whoa.
And so it was in the stars. But also on the flip side, Rick Carlisle, I love you. I'm a fan. I appreciate you. You're a great coach. But there's no crying in basketball, man.
That's right. We got to end on that. That's it. No crying in basketball. Jimmy, thank you, everybody. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. We'll be back on Friday tomorrow for another great show. Do we say it? Peace. I got a kiss, Jimmy. I got a kiss.
Nah, man. Only it look like we kissing each other. Either salute or kiss. I'll salute, you can kiss, or you
All
kiss,
right,
I'll
you
salute.
kiss, I'll salute. How
All
about
right,
that?
cool.
All right, ready?
All
All right, ready? Peace.
right, yeah.